Okay, first thing that I see about this one is it's not equal to 0. So I've got to set this equal to 0, so I'll add 5 to both sides. And that's what they want us to do here on this template, right? So I'm going to write that as 2x squared minus 11x plus 5 equals 0. And then I look at their greatest common factor. Well, 2, 5, and 11 don't have anything in common, so they're relatively prime, so there's no common factor. So A is 2, B is negative 11, C is 5. We'll multiply A times 2 is 10. And then what are the factors of 10 that I know they both have to be negative. How do I know they both need to be negative? Because the only way to get a positive 5 is if they're both positive from multiplying, and or positive 10 in this case. So yeah, and then negative. So and they both and they get an add to give me a negative 11. Actually, this is going to be a fairly straightforward question. Maybe you already see it. So I could do negative 10, negative 1, and negative 10. Do you see it? That's the answer. Negative 2 and negative 5 give me negative 10, and that's the only two possible factors. And I see that negative 1 plus negative 10 is negative 11. So those are what we want. So negative 1 and negative 10. So 2x squared and 5 from the original. And I'll do negative 1x and negative 10x. And then what can I factor? I can only factor out a negative 1 out of this row, right? Because that's negative, so we'll make that negative. And 1 and 5 just share 1. They kind of were relatively prime. Here I can take out a 2x. Here I can take out just a single x. I can't divide that negative x by 2. And there I can take out a negative 5, because remember, there's that trick where if the negative, if the negative is close to where we're writing, so you want to take the negative out with it. And then 10 and 5, the only two. And this doesn't have an x, so that doesn't come out. So where are we? We have the factored form, 2x minus 1 times x minus 5. People ask me, is it wrong to write it the other way? It is not. It's exactly the same. And so then we'll say, when are they equal to 0? This is the solving. 2x minus 1 equals 0, and x minus 5 equals 0. So I'll add 1, and divide by 2. X equals 1/2. And here I'll add 5, so x equals 5. So those are the factors. Those are the solutions. It's actually where this crosses the x-axis. So 1/2 and 5 are the answers. And let's see, I didn't copy that part of my open math question. I suspect you write them in with commas. So 1/2 comma 5, was it? Let's see. Yeah, that's how I would try to answer that. Okay, hopefully that helps.